Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video, we're going to be going through the Supreme Arena defenses I'm planning to run for this week. Before we get into that, I want to show you guys that we are in rank 2 right now, and at the beginning of, at the end of last week, we got attacked 4 times by top ranking players, and we managed to win on defense on all of them, and actually on 2 of them getting 3-0 victories as well. And the reason I'm mentioning this is kind of the only way to prove to yourself that your defenses are working. Like, we can go into like theory crafting and coming up with good ideas, but until they're put to practice, you can't say whether a team is good or not. And so the teams I was running last week were overall very good in my opinion. I did make one change which I didn't show in the video, which is rather than having Iron in the team number 1, as you see here, we were running Rainier in front of the Odie to ramp him up even more with Odie on the resonating spell, and I think that is really deadly, and I would try that in future weeks. Unfortunately, the maps for this week are not going to allow us to do that, so we can't use that strategy. And then I was running Scarlita Stroll on team number 2. Now, this was my weakest of the 3 teams. If you take a look at the most recent 2 attacks, I ended up losing on team 2, but the team 1 and 3 managed to carry me, and team 3 is the one that I showed in the video, which is the Freastro Vala team on the buff tiles with the Vala shield on Shakir, and that was doing really well for me. Okay, let's go ahead and get right into the teams I'm setting for this week. So team number 1 is going to be Scarlita Stroll. Because it's been working for me in the past, I thought I should stick to it. Oh, and the other thing was, I found that this team was doing a little bit better if I had Verdant spell on it rather than Tide Call. So I tried changing it to Verdant, and I'm going to try that for this week as well. Now, this map is really awkward. You really want to have Thorn, Soul Pacting, Haywin, or Floribel, not like we have here with the Scarlita, but we don't really have a choice in this map, and the other 2 maps have the energy buff tiles, and this team, Scarlita Stroll, does not do well in the energy buff tiles because you want heroes which can really take advantage of that, like Tassi, Taylene, which doesn't really fit in this comp that we're running. So this is the team I'm going to try to run for this first map, but if you don't want to run these, if you go for another Mauler team, that is always going to do pretty well for you. Or you can even go for like a Wilder team, because some people are doing well with Wilder teams, like even Ardent Carolina Iron type teams, especially because you have the hidden tiles here, and you can take advantage of that. And even if the opponent brings Maulers, if you have a lot of damage, you can sometimes burst through them. But obviously Maulers do counter the Wilder comp, but I'm just saying if you're limited on options, it isn't a terrible idea. But you guys know the idea behind this team. Haywin will cast your ultimate, and that will stall really well for your team. Scarlita will come down, hopefully with enough surviving allies that she can deal her true damage and have the kill threat. And Floribel will summon a lot of minions, and that will also stall and deal good damage for your team. So overall, this team has worked for me. It isn't one of my strongest teams, but it is probably my 3rd best team based on all the testing I've done, and so that is why I'm going to be running it for map number 1. Now, map number 2, this is where things get interesting. So definitely on our remaining 2 maps, we want to run Maulers, and like I mentioned, I have Taylene up to Supreme, and I have Tassi up to Supreme Plus. So I'm going to be running both of these this week in Supreme Arena because they take really good advantage of the energy tiles. Now, the way that they have changed the Lily May mechanic, basically, the people who are attacking into me, they're always going to take the first. They're going to have the priority. So whoever on their team is on this energy tile is going to cast first. My Lily May will interrupt them. But then my Lily May will not steal priority from my team. Instead, their ally who is on this tile will then cast their ultimate. And only after everyone is casted on their team, then my team will go for the casting. And why I have the positioning like this is because if I have Ulsa up front, then if there's a Lily May on the enemy team, she's going to interrupt my Ulsa, because Ulsa will cast before Taylene, because those who are frontmost on your defense are going to cast first. This is the mechanics of these energy tiles, and so Taylene will be basically guaranteed to go off first. Now, their problems, I'm really worried about Ulsa getting killed quickly. But at the same time, my team is also a really rapidly nuking team. If Taylene can cast ultimate, if Smokey and Odie are firing off with the resonating spell on Odie, Brainstorm Valley from Lily May, it is powerful, and I have the potential to burst through them. So this week is going to be a lot of testing. If I find that my defenses are not doing well, I'll make an updated video and come up with, maybe try some different team ideas. But for right now, this is what I'm trying. And you don't have to have Elsa in the front tile. You can have any Mauler hero here, basically. I don't even know, honestly, if Elsa is the best one. But you want a hero who will immediately cast their ultimate. Because the problem is, if you have a hero which has a delayed cast, like if they have an initial cast time, basically cooldown for their ultimate, then Talene is still going to be casting first, and she can get interrupted by the opponent Lily May. I basically want this team to guarantee that Talene will cast her ultimate, because that is how we're going to like burst through the opponent. But you could definitely go for Seth. I think Seth also has an instant ultimate. And you know what? Maybe I'll try Seth. But basically Seth, Elsa. The problem with Brutus is he doesn't have, I don't think, an instant cast ultimate. Because all melee heroes kind of walk up before they cast their ultimate. And so that is a problem for like Brutus, for example. So you could go for Reese, you could go for Seth, you could go for Elsa. I'm going to try Elsa, but let's see what happens. Yeah. Okay, moving on to team number 3. But yeah, you could even go for Entendre in this team. You could go for Entendre. You don't even have to take advantage of Energy Tile. You could go for Brutus, just to tank out for your team on whichever side you want him on. You have a lot of options here, but I think if you want to counter the enemy Lily May strategy, you want to have Elsa on the Energy Tile so that she can take the interruption of the enemy Lily May. Elsa or Seth or Reese, any instant caster. Okay, moving on to team number 3. So team number 3, like we said, we want to run Tassi. Now, it was awkward because I want to run Tassi and I want to run Coco in this team. We want to run Maulers again. And for Maulers, my key heroes which I want to run are going to be Coco, Mikola, Shakir, because there's a lot of synergy with Freestro, and I want to run Freestro in my final defense. And so this is the formation I decided upon. If the opponent has Lily May, they're going to interrupt my Tassi. There's nothing I can do about that. However, my Coco will be going off, and that damage reduction will buy a lot of time for my team. That can allow Shakir to like ramp up, get some kills. Even the Freestros are going to begin dealing damage, and then it can buy time. Tassi will be able to cast her ultimate again, and then she will actually deal her damage. So again, I do not know if this is going to be the overall strongest team. I think the best heroes to have on the buff tiles in this team could be Coco. You could have Mikola off the buff tile if you wanted. But I think Shakir should definitely be on the buff tile. You could even try teams with Tassi on the buff tile, but I wanted to take advantage of the energy tile. And the thing is, the opponent cannot run Lily May in each defense or each offense, right? They can only bring it to one of them. So if they don't bring it here, my Tassi is going to cast ultimate first, then we're going to have Coco damage reduction, and we're in a really good position. Also, we should be able to control the on arena from this team. We have the Tide Call spell because we're going to be casting ultimates rapidly. We have 2 heroes on the energy tiles. We have Freestro and his illusion. Both can cast ultimates. Shakir casts ultimate early. Basically, there's going to be a lot of activation of Tide Call, rapid activation, and the stats that it gives are pretty good as well. A lot of HP, crit, and haste. So that's why I'm going for it, but like you could go for Valor Shield spell. That would be a good option for a team. Honestly, I'm really tempted to go for Valor Shield spell in this team because it will make Tassi unaffected. So if there's an opponent Tassi who casts ultimate first because they get the first turn, my Tassi will still be able to go off. However, the problem is if they have a Lily May, then my Tassi will not be going off, right? Basically, no matter what defense you run, there's going to be a way to counter it. So you can't plan for everything. You just have to kind of make an overall defense which is going to do well into most things people can bring. So for that, I'm going to try the Tide Call spell. Let's see if it works. And basically though, these are the 3 defenses I'm planning to run. You can let me know what you guys are planning to run for this week. This is a difficult map. This energy tile map is not easy to figure out. And if you don't have heroes like Tassi and Talene, you can go for other heroes, whichever one you think would do well on the energy tile, but do not sacrifice your key heroes on the buff tiles. For example, Shakira is more valuable on the buff tile than having him on the energy tile. So I would always run him on the buff tile, even though he does make pretty good use of the energy tile, like in a regular arena map where buff tiles are not available. So yeah, put your key heroes on the buff tiles and then try to fill out the team with other heroes which can do fine on the energy tiles. Like you could even put a Lily May here, for example, you wanted to go for Entendre. Like this is also a really good team. And I don't know whether it's going to be better, but basically my defense here is trying to counter the enemy Lily May strategy, because the enemy Lily May will not be able to hit the Talene from this team defense that we have. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. Good luck this week in Supreme Arena, and we will be making Supreme Arena defenses from the whale account as well. So you can look forward to that if you want to see some more pay to win teams as well. But thanks for watching guys. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.